Well, hello everyone. This is KP the Math G, and I want to tell you I am very excited about this problem up here. You know, only math teachers can get excited over problems, right? Math students and math teachers alike. This is coming from the 2011 free response, question number 6. This is, of course, coming from a piecewise differentiable type function, and from the last video we did both parts A and B, and now we want to do part C. Of course, we see that the piecewise function f is 1 minus 2 sine x for x less than or equal to 0, and e to the negative 4x for x greater than 0. So what we want to do is find the average value of f on the interval from -1 to 1. Well, we have a piecewise function. We don't have just one function, we have a piecewise function. And notice that the number involved is 0 here. We got to kind of keep that in mind, don't we? But needless to say, we do have something we can do. We're going to go to work on this, and I want you to notice that there is a key word here. You know where it is? A couple of key words. Average value. Average. So I know that before I put my definite interval up, I'm going to have 1 minus -1 here, which is actually equal to 1 over 2, like that. So 1/2. Alright, the average is going to be either 1/2 times this, times the integral from -1 to 1, f at x dx. But we have it's still f, but we have a piecewise function here, so we have to divide this up. Okay, so what we have to do is, we are going from, since on the number line, let's just take this, here's -1, here's 0, and here's 1. Alright, so there's your 1/2, 2 units away here. Okay, so what do we do here? Well, we got to go from -1 to 0 f at x. Alright, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do, plus from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1, okay, f at x dx. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the 1/2 later. I want you to know that f from -1 to 1, f at x dx, is equal to, from -1 to 0, and then of course from 0 to 1. You can do that. There's a rule that says that of integration that tells you that you can add these two together, and the 0 links the two together, where you're going from -1 to 0 on the number line, and then from 0 to 1 on the number line. Okay, so that's what you have to do. Alright, so let's see, this first f at x is this portion right here, and then the second part from 0 to 1 greater than 0. So from 0 to 1 we're going to use e to the negative 4x. So really and truly, this is what we have. Alright, so okay, that was a problem from last time. I forgot forgot to erase the other side of the board, so forgive me for that. Yeah, that was part B, that one that you just saw there. I'm so sorry I forgot to erase that, but anyway, here we are now. Now we're going like this. We're going to say then we're going from -1 to 0, f at x, which is 1 minus 2 sine of x dx. And actually, let's go ahead and do that. And then, of course, plus from 0 to 1, I want to say 4e to the, no, maybe it was -4. Let me look at this one before I do this. Let's see what it is really. On the test, let's see if I can find it. It's not the correct one. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's it. E to the -4x. Okay, so not 4. Okay. All right, there it is. It's e to the -4x. So we're going to do this part, and then later on, let's not forget it is an average. We're going to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. Okay, so let's look it up first. Okay, so the antiderivative of 1 is x, so this equals x, and I'm going to go ahead and do the antiderivative. Let's see, the derivative of sine, or the antiderivative of sine x dx, we gotta memorize stuff like that, don't we, is negative cosine x. Alright, so since we have a -2, we're going to make this so it was -2 times that, so -2 times that. So a negative times a negative is a positive, so we're going to say plus 2 cosine x. Okay, so plus 2. So here's your -2 here, times this antiderivative of sine, which is negative cosine. So negative times a negative is plus 2 cosine x. Alright, so cosine x. Now remember, we're taking this part from -1 to 0, right there. Alright. I guess we can go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and finish that. Well, we may have to turn it back over and finish the problem. Okay, so let's see here. This part is, okay, so let's see. E to the -4x. Alright, so dx is what we're doing here. I'm just taking the antiderivative for the moment. So we did that here. We're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to let u be equal to -4x, and du is equal to -4 dx. We've got to get rid of that -4 there, so we're going to multiply by -1/4, so times, or multiply by -1/4, and that's going to be -1/4 du is equal to dx. Okay, so this means then that when I integrate e to the u du, that's going to be, of course I have to put my -1/4 in front of that because there it is. And then I can, let's see, well, that's just e to the u. So the antiderivative of e to the u is just e to the u. But now we know that u is -4x. So -4x, and then of course plus c. Alright, but in this case we're not doing a plus c because we're integrating from 0 to 1. Okay, now, alright, so -1/4. Alright, so there it is right there. Alright, so I'm going to make the -1/4, it's kind of like saying a -1/4 Okay, e to the negative 4x. Okay, and we're going from 0 to 1 there. You have to divide it up because it is a piecewise function, y'all. That's just the way it is. But we got different integrands here, okay? All right. Well, let's see what we get, and we're going to, at the end, hopefully be able to multiply by 1/2 or divide by 2. So what we have here is 0 first, so 0 plus 2 cosine of 0, okay, minus sign, negative 1 plus 2 cosine of negative 1. Close that up. Okay. Minus 1/4 times e to the negative 4 times 1 minus e to the negative 4 times 0. Alright, like that. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to distribute the minus sign here. Anybody remember what cosine of 0 is? Yeah, that's right, it's 1. So here it is, 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, so equals 2. Minus a negative is plus 1. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this negative. So plus 1. Alright, minus 2 cosine of negative 1. Now just leave it like that for the time being. Alright, so minus 1/4. I'm just going to distribute that. E to the negative 4 times 1 is just e to the negative 4. Alright, like that. Alright, and then this is actually minus, or actually plus, e to the 0 power. Negative 4 times 0 is 0, but e to the 0 is 1. Just like that. Okay. And I had to multiply that by 1/4. And like that. So I almost forgot that I have a 1/4 there in front of all this, or negative 1/4 rather. So when I distribute that, that's going to be here, 2 plus 1 is 3, minus 2 cosine negative 1. Alright, so negative times a positive is a negative 1/4. E to the negative 4x. Negative 4, I guess. That'll e to the negative 4. I'm thinking I'm doing this right. Minus, and I'm just going to, plus rather, plus 1/4. Okay. Alright, now all that is being multiplied by, I'm just going to do all of this. All of that is being multiplied now. Now we introduce the 1/2. Okay. Let's see what we get here. We could add 3 plus 1/4 real fast. Okay, so on the side, 3 plus 1/4. Remember the way I do it is 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 over 4 plus 1 over 4 is 13 over 4. So far that's looking good. So right here, instead of these two now, it's 13 over 4. So we'll do that. Okay. So now 13 over 4. 13 over 4. Okay, I'm thinking all of this is right. I'm hoping it is anyway. Alright, and let's see here. I'm thinking everything's right here. Yeah. Okay, so let's multiply this. This is going to be equal to now. This is not equal here. I don't put the equal to sign here. Okay, because I'm multiplying by 1/2. That's reason. Okay, so now 13 over 8. That looks good so far. 2, this is minus 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 times 2 cosine of -1. But then when you think about that, the 2's cancel out or divide out. So that is going to be just cosine -1. So minus cosine -1. And then of course 1/2 times 1/4 is 1/8. So minus 1/8 e to the -4. And I'm hoping this is all good. Let me see what I have, if I've got this right. When I did it, last time I did it correctly before, but that doesn't mean that I did it correctly this time. Hold on. Oh. Okay, I've got 13/8 minus cosine to cosine -1 minus 1/8 e to the -4. Yep, that is right. And that is the average value. That is the average value. Now remember, on average value, you had to remember we integrated. If we look back at this again, we integrated from -1 to 1, and so you got to remember that's equal to, I mean, when you average that now, that's going to be 1 over 1 minus -1, which I already showed before to be 1 over 2, and then that's going to be times all this, okay? Average value means that you do that. Okay, that's what you do. Whether it's average velocity or average anything, okay, you have to do this here. Okay? Alright, so that's what we got here. This is the final answer right here. Alright, that took a little bit of work to do. You had to know how to integrate this, and you had to integrate this, and notice that you had to go from -1 to 0, and then from 0 to 1, simply because, and I hate to keep going back and forth, you had to go, well, from -1 to 0 here, and then from 0 to 1 here, okay? It's on this interval here, so 0's in between there, and so you got to account for that, okay? You have to divide that up just like that. Okay, well, final answer right here. That didn't take quite as long as I thought it would. Anyway, this is KP the Math G. I'm excited to be getting more subscriptions. I hope that continues. I do appreciate everything that you're doing in terms of that you have the confidence in me to look at my videos. I do appreciate that. I am getting quite a few views here, and I really like that. That's encouraging to me and uplifting to me. But it's not all about me. It's about you and what you can get out of this. But anyway, if you can subscribe, if you'd like to subscribe, please do that. If you would like to make a comment, please do that as well. And if you would like to hit that like button, I would appreciate that as well. It really puts us, see, I'm already smiling, okay? Anyway, KP the Math G signing off for now. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great